What's going on, guys? This video is way later than I expected, but my day job has had me working the last 2 weekends, so yeah, I've been busy. But here it is at last. Last year, I put out a video for my personal list of games that I thought would make great experiences when paired up with some righteous buds. That video actually catapulted my channel and brought me my first 100 or so subscribers. You guys went nuts in the comments section telling me all the games you like to play when you smoke, so I decided to kick it up a notch for the 2019 version of the video. In this video, I have compiled all the games that you guys, the community, suggested as the best games to play while stoned. I'm also going to include the reasons that you guys chose these games, if you happen to include it in the comment. Due to the nature of the subject, I will keep the comments anonymous. I usually go into great detail with every game I cover, but this is your guys' video, so sit back and enjoy the list of the absolute best games to play while stoned. These titles are in no particular order. Starting off the list, we have Battlefield 1 and Battlefield V to be specific. Now, these games actually made it onto my list for last year, as Battlefield games may be the most immersive shooters to jump into when it comes to being stoned to the bone. My one viewer says, I always play Battlefield 1 when I'm stoned. I always go off when I'm high, and for good reason. The sound design on top of the visual flair probably has you thinking rationally, as if you were actually transported into the body of the soldier that you control. Next up, we have an obvious case of one of my viewers puffing on one while they watch my content. The comment reads, Red Dead Redemption 3 is the best. It's like watching a movie while you play, ... Well, considering Red Dead Redemption 3 doesn't exist yet, I'd say you're high as fuck, son. But we all know what you meant. Red Dead Redemption 2 truly was a masterpiece in every aspect, aside from multiplayer. Another comment explains, now, it's Red Dead Redemption 2. The beautiful sceneries are breathtaking like a Bob Ross painting. Light up a joint and let the sun set. It truly is an unbelievable open world, populated with detailed individuals at every turn, a story portrayed so well you probably shed a tear, and next level graphics and gameplay provided a story game experience that cannot be compared to anything else, because it's simply above it. Moving on, one viewer says, any Arkham game is a must, and he's not wrong. I remember playing the first Arkham game, and then I realized how well the superhero game was executed on. It took the best aspects of combat from a multitude of other titles, and stitched them together in a perfect mix of stealth, combat, and gadget play. In 2015, Arkham Knight was released and served as the final game in Rocksteady's trilogy and the series as a whole. I suggest playing Arkham Knight, the most recent in the series, as this game takes place around the 10-year mark of Bruce Wayne operating as Batman, so you will have all the gadgets and knowledge of a seasoned Batman, offering you the most freedom when it comes to taking down the bad guys. My next viewer keeps it short and simple with, play Deus Ex, trust me. And although I actually haven't experienced this title yet, I trust him. Deus Ex Mankind Divided was an action RPG with a first-person shooter and stealth mechanics. Players take the role of Adam Jensen, a man equipped with mechanical cybernetic implants called augmentations. With the augmentations and skills in the game being vast and varied, Deus Ex should provide a unique and refreshing playthrough in a beautifully developed sci-fi world. Next up is For Honor. For Honor brings a unique new fighting style to player-on-player combat. For Honor is a multiplayer-focused third-person fighting game with individual character movesets similar to Mortal Kombat. Defeating your opponent is always rewarding in this melee-focused multiplayer game due to the skill it takes to read your opponent and react appropriately, all in real time. This next game was suggested to me multiple times, and seeing as I bought a PlayStation 4 just to play this game, I'd say it's worth checking out. Spiderman 2018, a true nostalgic masterpiece. I am so happy Insomnia started this project because this truly is the Spider-Man experience, with web slinging at its very best. Next up, someone went above and beyond and totally skipped marijuana in general. The comment reads, No Man's Sky. Play it on acid, which made me laugh my ass off. I personally never got into No Man's Sky, and understandably so, as it had a poorly received release, but updates and patches have released since then have given the game a complete facelift, resulting in a very unique and trippy space exploration game, now including cooperative play. The RNG of this game provides a completely unique experience as the game generates content as you go, making exploring the universe just as unpredictable as you would think. I am super stoked some people went way back with their recommendations. Debuting for the Super Nintendo, Earthbound is a 1990s Japanese RPG that delivers in both the role-playing game experience as well as providing a humorous journey that will have you grinning from ear to ear. Many of you may actually recognize the lead character, Ness, who most of you probably know from Super Smash Bros. Since its original release, Earthbound has been re-released for Game Boy Advance, Wii U, and Nintendo 3DS. Keeping it old school, we have classic Mario 64. This was, I believe, the very first video game that I owned. I remember receiving the N64 for Christmas and then exploring the Bob-omb battlefield just minutes later. Super Mario 64 still plays well today, and for those of you who got all 120 stars when you were kids, it may be one hell of a nostalgic ride to do it all again as a stoned adult. Another obvious hit from Rockstar Games, GTA 5. Now, a bunch of people commented this game, so let's break down the key aspects that were mentioned when playing this game stoned. First off, first-person mode is a game changer, and with the fully fleshed out world of Los Santos, first-person exploration feels like a whole new world. The other main reason you guys chose this game was because of its nearly endless possibilities. You can rob banks, do stunt races, roleplay with an online server, start a company, sell drugs, get drunk, smoke weed, buy houses, kill friends, and so much more. GTA 5 is a playground for potheads. Now, Human Fall Flat seems to be a recipe for clumsiness. I featured this game in the best games to play drunk with friends, and here you guys are saying it's also one of the best games to play while stoned. One viewer writes, play Human Fall Flat with a buddy while high. One of the funniest experiences I've ever had in my entire life. Just the way that my character waddled around like a drunken penguin was funny enough sober. Complete fun courses with your dysfunctional group of buddies in this goofy platformer. Up next is another comment that made me chuckle. I was told that Assassin's Creed Origins free roam with the Eagle. It was a religious experience, and this was right in the middle of my AC Odyssey playthrough. With the recent shift in Assassin's Creed from linear storylines to a more open world RPG style of gameplay, the already beautiful world of Assassin's Creed is only getting more breathtaking. Pick your preference from either the time of the Romans or the world of the Egyptians. With Odyssey and Origins being the first two games in this new RPG format, enjoy what can only be described as a religious experience when paired with some nice strains of bud. I'm just gonna touch on this game briefly, but GTA 4 also received a lot of love in the comment section, mainly for the nostalgia of visiting an old place again. The comment reads, recently played GTA 4 again and drove around and felt like I was in a place I used to go to as a child, and the radio station is very nostalgic. It honestly felt like I came back in time. Well, with those games highlighting the pop culture and political satire of the time, Grand Theft Auto games can be a great way to travel back in time, or so it seems. This game is everywhere and now it's on this list. My subscriber simply wrote, "Where's Minecraft, bro?" With the almost therapeutic gameplay loop and soundtrack, Minecraft is a perfect place to let your inner stoner be free. Create, build, explore, experiment, and live your best blocky life in this simple yet vast sandbox world. Now, it seems that the reason for most of these old school games on the list are due to nostalgia, but this one is not. Skate 3 is, in my opinion, the best skating game ever made. Now, the old Tony Hawk titles sure do give it a run for its money, but when it comes down to the realism and physics, Skate 3 is the undisputed champ. This game still holds up extremely well, and you can still find other YouTubers like ZexyZek and Toasty Ghost still putting out Skate 3 content. Making this list for its hilarity, the comment reads, Tales of the Borderlands or Borderlands in general is funny, which is the way it should be, as Tales of the Borderlands is a Telltale game that focuses on cinematics and player choices. You influence the story of your game all while watching it, and with Borderlands being packed with comedy as usual, you can expect to have a severe case of the giggles as your story plays out in front of you. Although I personally have not dug into the Yakuza game series, you guys have. The comment reads, either Yakuza 0 or 6. It's like having a movie in a game with some really good fighting mechanics. So there you go, 2 options for cinematic gameplay and well-designed combat systems. I praise this game in a lot of my videos, but I'm glad to see that I'm not the only one. Simply put, this viewer says, for horror, Outlast is the best. And I would generally agree with that statement, but with the amazing reimagination of Resident Evil 2, it's a tough choice. Both games are completely unique. It may just come down to the preference of experiencing horror in either first-person or third-person fashion. For a literal out-of-this-world experience, BioShock Infinite paints a pretty picture in a fantasy world of Columbia, high in the sky. The sci-fi gameplay and beautiful atmosphere provides a classic wild BioShock experience in one of the best BioShock environments to date. Of course, this list would not be complete without Rocket League. On top of the super simple and super fun gameplay, this viewer says that the soundtrack alone can have them lingering in the lobby for a few hot jams. For probably one of the most iconic puzzle game experiences, Portal and Portal 2 will have you solving puzzles with your handy dandy portal gun. Get creative and you will literally blow your own mind with what you can accomplish. Coming in as probably the weirdest title on this list, Katamari Damacy is a third-person puzzle game in which you set out to remake the stars and moon by clumping up a whole bunch of shit together. I believe this game actually started out as a school project, I could be wrong, but now it has built its way up to being re-released for the Switch. Coming in with some cringe-worthy content, this viewer says, "My favorite game to play while baked as fuck is Sniper Elite 4, because the kill cinematics are the most satisfying I've ever seen. You have the option to skip the cinematics, but I don't know why someone in their right mind would skip these golden highlights I never get tired of." To your face. And you are correct, my good sir. I've seen my fair share of collateral testicle shots and I cannot get enough of it. See exactly where your bullets go in Sniper Elite 4. I touched on this game in the same video from last year, but I am glad I'm not the only one. When it comes to a complete RPG experience, The Witcher 3 takes the cake in everything from visuals to combat and story. Absolutely a top 5 game of all time for me. I played it through thrice. And last but not least, all you PC guys love to, quote unquote, enter beast mode when you smoke and play CSGO. I love it. I'm a huge competitive gamer, Gears of War being my bread and butter, and I love the idea of you guys going out there and absolutely shitting on the other team while just blazing and having a good time. So there you guys have it, over 20 unique games that you guys, the community, love to play while stoned. You now have more than enough options to go try something new. I wanted to say thank you to all my subscribers and all of you who responded to my comment in regards to compiling this list. There are great games coming out left and right, so we may need to revise this list for next year. As always, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I always love talking to you guys in the comments section, so until next time, I'll see you guys.